Right. Hey guys, how are we doing? Decided to check out an old Nux Taku video as I've recently finished Black Clover and absolutely loved it and just wanted to check out some videos. And I remember back in the day where I was like, I can't check any of these videos out because I haven't seen Black Clover. I think it's like two. He's done ranking every arc as well. And there's a couple of other ranking every arc videos from Nux that I want to check out as well. Let's cover the back catalogue. And yeah, let's get into it. 'Cause I really liked this kind of plot twist that happened within this within the series. It didn't feel forced. It worked, and it kind of made sense as well. A little bit like ooh, okay, but at the end of the day, I've seen much worse, like kind of plot twisty things, like Kaguya appearing at the end of Naruto, like getting rid of Madara out of nowhere. It's just like what, and you were like what, and then they had to do this whole backstory, and then they did a whole thing of filler to even double down on the backstory. And it was just like in the anime, and it's like Black Zetsu, no, that's not a no. So Black Clover did it better. Check it out.
I think I can admit with varying degrees of certainty.
It's so cool to see the old Nux Taku thing. I mean, I do love his whole VTuber avatar thing that he does now, but it's nice to see how he was what's back in the old days.
That on average, massive plot twists that come out of nowhere suck because they feel contrived, not thought up well, not thematically relevant, and all around poopy.
Nothing. What is that from? Oh, check out my Etsy shop, by the way. I've got a t-shirt there that I'm really, really liking the design of.
And the second thing would
links in the description.
Be overpowered characters, where it's never satisfying how they're actually beaten or what their actual personality is, aside from being freaking powerful. Freaking powerful is not a personality, goddammit. But they called me crazy. In any case, mix the two of these things together, massive plot twists that summons an overpowered character, and you get what I like to call Black Zetsufication.
That is a thing. Black Zetsufication is definitely the yep.
Named after a little-known detail that happened at the end of Naruto, where
here we go.
This exactly happened. At the end
That's what we're talking
of the Naruto
about.
War, things were going hunky-dory. Well, not really. They were fighting Madara, and Madara was pretty damn strong. Madara was an overpowered character. He was hyped for generations of Naruto hits.
Since like the beginning, and then he is like bam, and then Black Zetsu's just like nah.
History as well as 500 episodes. He's thematically relevant, everything's wonderful, and then all of a sudden for the ultimate final plot twist, so Kishimoto could say, I do respect women. Black Zetsu pops out of nowhere. Haha, he was the evil mastermind all along.
The whole time.
He kills Madara in the most lame way.
Yeah, it's crap.
Most overpowered characters end up getting defeated in lame ways because they're too strong to die normally. And summons Kaguya, an even more powerful character. Congratulations! We got an epic plot twist that was a disaster.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Introducing an overpowered character that was a disaster. No offense, Naruto fans. Black Zetsufication sucks.
Yep.
And it doesn't just happen in Naruto, it happens throughout all of media. When you finally feel like you're getting somewhere, all of a sudden a massive plot twist happens that drags the story forward. Very often, it's terrible, and very infrequently, it's bearable. But only once in my recollection of fictional works is it actually fantastically superb.
Are we talking about Black Clover, yeah?
And that would be in Black Clover.
Hell yeah.
This video is talking about a character from the Black Clover manga, so spoiler alert,
But it's okay now. It's okay. I've seen it in the anime.
talking about the devil. And no, when I say devil, I don't mean devilishly handsome. I mean probably the creepiest character design in Shonen. And
weird.
yes, I've seen Stain's nose, or the lack thereof. Respect Stain, the only anime villain uglier than Blackbeard. But Nux, you forgot. In middle of this massive war between the reincarnated elves and the humans, fighting on both sides.
Oh, this is gonna be weird because so by at the time you release this, the anime had right. So it's gonna be manga panels. This will be interesting to see how it went down in the manga. Okay, cool.
Fights for survival of their individual races when we near a massive climax and we're at Patry versus Asta and Yuno and shiz. Massive plot twist happens. All the stones that are gathered that the elves were gathering to revive their fallen comrades turned out it was all the devil's master plan that she was controlling various characters throughout history to get these 10 stones together to summon him from an alternate realm. Yes, the devil masterminded everything. Black Zetsufication. Now, let me define what I mean by he's an overpowered character. You know how everyone uses, like, magic? You know, lightning magic, fire magic, wind magic, you know.
Yeah, this guy uses, like, spoken word magic. I was like, what?
The top tier guys, they use, like, time magic and light magic and dark magic. This is really cool shiz. The devil uses word reality magic, where whatever he utters becomes reality. He says, like, storm of swords, and a literal storm of swords start hailing upon his opponent's gate of Babylon style, where it's a mix of all sorts of swords, be it magic or physical, so anti-magic can't block the physical swords.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting
can't
as well.
Blow away the magic swords. This is what some philosophers would call big oof, especially because he can literally say storm of swords without even thinking twice. It doesn't use up seemingly any of his mana reserves, and it can take down armies of enemies. He can say anything. He can say wall of flame, and a wall of flame.
That looks so freaking cool, mate. That's awesome.
Team shows up. The guy is next level overpowered compared to every character we've seen in every timeline that we've seen this anime. The devil is devilishly handsome, but also freaking strong. So we got the overpowered thing out of the way. Awesome. Does he deserve to be overpowered? Yes, he's this seemingly mythical being that's transcended his own reality to enter into ours due to centuries of planning.
Yeah, and like, everyone's kind of confused. No one has like any kind of like 100% like knowledge on it as well. So I liked that. There was anyone that's given an absolute description. It was like, what?
So he deserves to be overpowered. He is overpowered. But as far as super ultra evil genius master plans that have been going on for centuries, there needs to be foreshadowing, right? Well, there is.
Unlike with Black Zetsu.
With the Eye of the
Well, yeah, because the whole Eye of the Mist, the stuff that happened with the elves and everything, and the explanation, it all makes sense.
Midnight Sun, especially present with Veto, when he was nearing defeat, the third eye opened and he started muttering these demonic spells called demon magic. He was on a mission to retrieve one of the stones, and even past where he should have fallen, he started uttering spells that were past the universe that they were in. It has been foreshadowed for a while that something is going on behind the scenes. Whether it's the demon runes, or it's the third eye, or it's many clues that have been dropped throughout the anime that Licht is not fully following his own mental faculties. But there is someone else pulling the strings. As far as plot twists go, no one saw it coming, even though it was in front of us the whole time, but also beautifully hidden the whole time. As far as overpowered characters, he's a completely valid one, and as far as foreshadowing, we kinda had it. So, all this said and done, that makes him an OP character done adequately. Not per se right, not spectacularly, he's an adequate OP character, would smash. Mostly
because it's like, I thought it was cool as well. Like, I felt like, watching the anime, I was like, wow, because you had that, the same goddamn opening thing all the time, and it was starting to get annoying. But then, when you realise how that opening actually ties in with everything, and then they changed it slightly to actually fully explain everything, I was like, whoa. I was like, that's cool. I get it. I get why they drilled it into our heads the whole time.
He's devilishly handsome. But no, I just vlog that bitch. I'm a YouTuber. I don't care about dignity or any of that. Where was I? Ah, yes. Why he's freaking brilliant. So, there's two things that Black Clover has posed throughout this elf invasion arc, and really the greater story altogether, but it's most prevalent in this very arc. Now, I'm not talking about the overarching theme of the story being nobility versus the riffraff peasants. No, I am referring to a very ambiguous morality in this entire war. The reason why I like this war arc between the reincarnated elves and the humans so much is because there is no one in the right and there's no one in the wrong. The elves were a race that we were told throughout the entire series were massacred by the humans because they were afraid of their potential power. They said, you know, these elves are kind of sort of nice guys, but they have a ton of mana and, we don't want them to eventually decide to turn on us or anything. So there's a lot of us. They're not expecting anything. Let's wipe the heck out of them. And they did that. The humans were completely in the wrong for the entirety of the story up till this point, and it's totally justified for Licht to decide to bring back all his fallen brethren. Yes, he has to reincarnate their minds
into
through
their bodies.
magic
Yeah.
knights, in essence making these knights vessels for his kin until he can acquire the 10 magic stones and summon the rest of them, but that's a completely justifiable goal. On the other hand, it's not like the current generation of magic knights deserves punishment for the sins of
what
their
the past have
ancestors,
done,
so
yeah.
they don't want to get wiped out either, and defending themselves kind of does make sense. So with both sides sort of being in the right, there is no happy ending with the humans annihilating the elves. Good riddance, threat. And obviously there's not much of a happy ending with the elves taking down all the main characters. That just doesn't usually happen in shonen, I find. It's a weird trope that all the main characters don't get wiped out in the middle of the story.
So
but
strange.
hey, this is anime, right?
So strange.
With this moral ambiguity in play, the war was fascinating on both sides and reached a mental stalemate. Both sides were giving the fight their entire all because the losing side would have their species wiped from history, which is something most philosophers would call big oof.
Big
in
oof
the latest
indeed.
chapter,
Yes,
the
yes,
backstory behind the massacring of the elves was revealed, and it was this devil guy playing his own tricks hundreds of years ago to cause this entire hysteria of the elves taking the L by controlling different key figures throughout history, moving things along in a way he would want them to be moved along,
Yeah, so sick.
controlling both elf
I mean, not like, yeah, it was awesome what he did. It was like, it's clever.
and human at different points in time, and after whatever happened, writing history in whatever way he sees fit. With history written as such, and with vengeance in the mind of the few remaining elves, they are tasked to collect the 10 magical stones in order to revive their race. And once the 10 are put together, the devil can come forth in this world. He has left the Shadow Realm, people! The
My
devil
God.
has left the Shadow Realm! It's a great strategy, but it also answers the moral ambiguity of the situation. It gives a beautifully proper way out of an extremely sticky situation with no good answer. The moral ambiguity is what made the entire elf storyline until this point fascinating. You were able to see the ideology on each side of the spectrum, but the only thing that was so far from any of our grasps was a conclusion. And we finally got it. It's a beautiful way to write the introduction of the character, but also answer a question that's been plaguing us forever, and that is, how can we be satisfied with an outcome of a war unjust on both sides? I'm not talking about the many themes that are at play here, which I'm sure the devil will take a role in throughout the series, because we see how he was tied to the first Wizard King, and honestly, that's really a discussion for another video. I will potentially be doing an OP analysis on the first Wizard King, even though we didn't see him, because god damn, his role is so important to the theme of the story.
Yeah, it's amazing how it just carries on, like, and yeah.
Themes aside, though, my absolute favorite thing about what the devil has to offer to Black Clover is how it perfectly encompasses the symbolism within this anime. This is really the reason why I decided to make this video. I've talked about the ambiguity before, but not how the devil impacts it, and I also kind of wanted to say how this is Black Zetsu done right, introducing a fascinating character that's not just overpowered, with overpowered being his personality, but someone with an actual devious personality that, hey, he's devious, he's an asshole, he's a manipulative creep, I relate to him! Much
Oh,
surprise
wow.
befalls the audience,
Shock.
because Nux Taku never relates to nutcases, right? This is so sad. Could we get an F in the chat? But the symbolism of Black Clover throughout the entirety of the series was pretty clear, especially in regards to the elves and the humans. In the year 587 BC, the first temple in Jerusalem was destroyed by the Roman Empire. Now, the inhabitants of Israel at that point were the promised nation. They were the ones chosen above all other nations, which represent how the elves in Black Clover were the chosen nation, chosen by mana, and were far more powerful in magic and all of that. Now, despite that fact, the elves were still massacred and their homeland was destroyed by the inhabitants of the Clover Kingdom, which represents the Roman Empire at that point, where two of the Roman emperors' names were Julius and Nero. Do we know characters in
Oh.
Black Clover, Julius and Nero? What a coincidence!
Wow!
Not only that, but the 10 magic stones are placed in the Kabbalistic tree, which is the core philosophy of the chosen people. The 10 stones match the 10 attributes of God, which is the foundation for all of Kabbalah. Funny coincidence that is exactly what they're gathering.
That's so cool. Wow, we are educated and seeing references and awesome.
Placing in that exact placement on this tablet of sorts. Now, the ties between all this stuff goes a lot deeper and a lot further, and I might make a video, the symbolism of Black Clover. But to get to the point, the main antagonist in this whole story of the Romans destroying the temple and stuff was more than any individual. It was stated that the Israelites caused this upon themselves due to their hatred for one another. It was due to their sins that were provoked by the Satan, who is fun fact, the devil, that caused the entire discourse, and the Romans were the physical manifestation of divine punishment for their sins. Now, how beautiful is it that the main antagonist of this story, with the Clover Kingdom massacring the elves, is the devil that was manipulating people the entire time. How fitting for that to be the manifestation of discourse in all of Black Clover's history as well. How beautiful is that, damn it? It fits into the symbolism of the entire series. I could go on a massive rant about the symbolism of Black Clover, but again, I really want to do that another time because the focus here is on how beautiful of an implementation the devil is to the story. To be frank, I'm a sucker for symbolism. I'm also a sucker for moral quandaries that gets you relating to both sides.
It's always quite interesting. It's like when you question
the devil in
when you're questioning motives, and you're like, I can kind of see where they're coming from, but then you're like, I can also see the other side. It's like, I'm conflicted.
Black Clover is a character with a full-fledged personality that is not introduced at the final chapter of the story, but more likely in the middle. Asta isn't even a top-tier magic knight, let alone the Wizard King. The story is only blossoming, fam. This is, if anything, a halfway point, and we get introduced to this massive plot twist. It's not a Black Zetsu pulled out of Kishimoto's ass at the very end. This is something that was carefully thought of the entire time. It fits beautifully with the symbolism of the entire story. It answers the moral quandaries you've been having throughout. It's shifting the entire world into second gear. Because until this point, you had Clover Kingdom, which was more or less at peace. Granted, it had its own social hierarchy issues that they were trying to work out. But more or less at peace. The elves were non-existent until this point, with the Eye of the Midnight Sun terrorist group really the only antagonists in the series. You're gonna call the neighboring kingdoms to the Clover Kingdom massive adversaries? All the few times they showed up, they got promptly swatted. This is the series putting its foot forward in a case where we need it most. This is evolving the entire story as well as fitting in beautifully with every other aspect of the show. If this video doesn't make it clear that I am a fan of this plot twist as well as a fan of Black Clover in entirety, well, let me spell that out for you. The manga is goddamn great. The adaptation is a bit slow, could be better, not terrible, mind you, especially...
I've only read the first 2 volumes of the Black Clover manga, I remember back in the day, and I did think, the pacing is better, but then, I ended up binging the anime and I quite enjoyed it. And do you know what I quite enjoyed? What I've discovered was the filler as well. I thought the filler was actually pretty damn decent for filler, like character progression and everything.
In later episodes, the tournament arc going on right now is pretty hype, but the manga is next level. I mostly like it for the social themes, but the current arc that's been going on has been phenomenal across the board. So, whammin' and gentle whammin', the great character of the devil aside, as well as how heavy-hitting this out-of-the-blue yet perfect plot twist came whacking every fan reading the chapters week by week aside, this is an overpowered character done perfectly.
Right.
For its impact on the story, for who the character is, and for how it fits into Black Clover thematically, morally, and symbolically. There is no other character, to my recollection at this point, that checks off all these boxes. There are some that do better in different ways, but this is something the likes of which I've never seen before. Please subscribe if you're looking forward to future Black Clover content, as well as future OP analysis videos. I plan to do more of both. Also, I know this may seem rather quaint, but a lot of thought went into this whole symbolism thingo, and to be frank, I haven't really seen anyone else talk about it. So, shares are super appreciated, fam.
I'm sure he ended up doing a symbolism in anime and use Death Note and stuff as examples. I remember reacting to something like that.
And honestly, I don't see how someone can still not appreciate Black Clover after seeing how important the devil is to the story symbolically and how amazing of a plot twist it was. Share this with your friends, whether they're Black Clover fans or even not. It's true, it's spoilers for a plot twist, but in the end of the day, that plot twist only happens 200 chapters later, and if this is gonna get them to read it, heck, it doesn't ruin the back and forth of the story at all. Whammon and gentle whammon, please leave a like and let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video, because, I mean, I don't mean to toot my own horn here or anything, but I'm actually really proud of this one. A heck of a lot of research went into this video.
Seems like it. All that like Roman Empire stuff and everything's like, whoa, the names and everything's like, ah, okay. References.
I'm gonna be prideful like a little twat and say if you can find a better Black Clover video on YouTube, link it in the comments. What can I say? I worked hard on this one, fam. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it and perhaps think of something that you haven't thought of in the past in regards to Black Clover. Have yourselves the most wonderful evening and remember
to stay weird, fam. That brings me back. Oh, the good old days. But no, that was a good video. Yeah, it's the first time a plot twist like that actually fits in, and it helps progress the story later on. What happens with one of the other kingdoms, and then the reveal of how Asta has his powers and stuff, and then it just makes more sense, and it all fits. That's cool. So yeah, I've got a couple more Nux Taku videos I want to check out. Oldies. Make sure you check out my Etsy shop. The t-shirt I've designed, I really like the design. I really like it, so I'm going to keep pushing it every video for a bit. I think it's great. And there's the only difference between the two versions you can choose at the shop is for UK or US, so that you're not paying a ridiculous amount on delivery. So yeah, if you're in the US area, choose the US one, UK one, and then the delivery is not going to be extortionate. And thank you to my patrons. If you want to have your name at the end of every video upload, link in the description to the Patreon page. $1 a month size, but that's greatly appreciated. Thank you for that, and thank you all for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch because of future videos. See you guys, next time. Bye.